Today's news. Aynullah Fatullaev's hearing postponed again. Adnan Hajizadeh's request to participate in the next hearing fulfilled. Protest held against imprisoned journalist. Press Council introduces pre-election booklets for journalists. Seminar held on NGO and society relations. Serious problems exist in fair distribution of oil and gas revenues. The preliminary hearing on Aynullah Fatullaev's appeal was conducted in the Court of Appeals on the 17th of September 2010. The hearing was presided over by Judge Mirpasha Huseynov. Fatullaev told the judge that he was not familiar with 3 volumes of protocols of the Gardak District Court. "You gave me additional time to become familiar with the documents. However, not all the protocols were submitted to me. I spoke with Elmar Huseynov in the first instance court. However, this testimony was distorted by the judge. I want to be familiar with that part, therefore I am requesting that you grant time to me to do so," said Aynullah Fatullaev. The judge fulfilled the motion and scheduled the next hearing for September 24th at 11 a.m. In addition, Aynullah Fatullaev asked the judge the reasons for not granting permission to the representatives of 10 international organizations that visited Baku who wanted to meet with him. The judge said that the representatives were not rejected by the court, and these issues will be discussed during the next hearing. Journalists appealed against the July 6 decision by the Gardak District Court, 2.5 years of imprisonment under the accusation of storing drugs, and is demanding immediate release. In 2007, Aynullah Fatullaev was sentenced to 8.5 years in jail for threatening terror and other accusations. However, the European Court on Human Rights issued a decision on his being innocent and immediate release. The Azerbaijani government thus far has refused to execute this decision. Today, 17th of September, in the Baku Appeals Court, under the chairmanship of Judge Sabikhan Mirzaev, imprisoned blogger Adnan Hajizadeh's appeal for his early release against the decision issued by Gardak District Court on 26th of July was heard. The judge said that Hajizadeh wrote a statement requesting to participate in the hearing. The state plaintiff did not object to Adnan Hajizadeh's participation in the court hearing. Hajizadeh's lawyer, Isakhan Ashurov, said that it is necessary to bring Hajizadeh to court. He requested that the judge approve the temporary transfer of him to the Baku Investigative Prison. The judge announced a decision to ensure Hajizadeh's participation in the hearing and to temporarily transfer him to Baku Investigative Prison. The hearing was scheduled for the 1st of October at 3 p.m. The appeal of blogger Adnan Hajizadeh regarding his early release was not granted in the Gardak District Court under the chairmanship of Judge Rufan Mursalov. Bloggers Amin Milli and Adnan Hajizadeh were arrested after an incident took place in the Lebanese restaurant on 8th of July 2010. Although they were beaten, they were sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and 2 years in prison respectively, under charges of hooliganism and inflicting intentional minor bodily harm.
On the 17th of September, a youth group calling themselves Refugees staged a protest in front of the Baku Appeals Court, where Aynullah Fatullaev's appeal hearing is being conducted. They held posters with slogans, "Dashnak spy, Aynullah Fatullaev insulted the spirits of martyrs," and Aynullah Fatullaev should be deprived of Azerbaijani citizenship. The protesters accused Fatullaev of slandering the Khojaly tragedy. "We are against the release of Fatullaev," a protester said. "Aynullah is Armenian. He is carrying Armenian blood. He must be deprived of Azerbaijani citizenship." Police did not interfere with the action. The protest is suspected of being set up by the government. The journalist appealed against the 6th of July decision of Gardak District Court of his 2.5-year imprisonment under the accusation of storing drugs and demanded his immediate release. In 2007, Fatullaev was sentenced to 8.5 years in jail for threatening terror and other accusations. However, the European Court on Human Rights issued a declaration of his innocence and immediate release. The Azerbaijani government has been refusing to execute this decision. The Azerbaijani Press Council introduced pre-election booklets at an event on September 15th. The council chairman, Aflatun Almashov, said that the booklets entitled Media and Elections and Fair and Balanced Election Coverage will assist journalists in the pre-election campaign coverage. According to Almashov, the objectivity of journalists will influence voters' behavior and will allow voters to make more confident voting decisions. The Council of Europe Baku office representative, Veronika Kotek, says that these publications are the contribution of the Council of Europe to the parliamentary elections in Azerbaijan.
Journalists in Extreme Situations Public Union held a seminar entitled Assistance to Staff Preparation in Strengthening NGO and Society Relations in the Office of the Women's Rights Defense Society. NGO and mass media representatives attending the event expressed their dissatisfaction with the current relations between NGOs and society. According to the participants, the inconsistent activities of most NGOs, the lack of information for the community about these activities, and the lack of specialists working for NGOs create a gap between NGOs and society. The NGO and media representatives then accused one another of creating the current problems. Namely, NGO representatives accused mass media representatives of disseminating incomplete information about NGO activities. Nonetheless, the parties agreed that the problems can be settled via discussions, not via mutual accusations. Both NGO and mass media representatives stated that no organization can be recognized in the society without advertising interesting activities.
Countries dependent on oil and gas revenues face a lot of risks. Included in these are the social and economic development rates, the effectiveness of state management, and social conflicts, said the head of the Center for Public Funds Monitoring, Ingilab Amadov, in an event held in the Caspian Plaza on September 17th. The maximum share of hydrocarbon production and revenue in the state budget should not exceed 30%. The optimal level is 25%, though, he noted. Political scientist Rasim Musabayov said that social polls have been conducted for the Oil and Gas Revenues and Social Risks Project. According to the observations, dissatisfaction with the distribution of oil income is getting bigger out of Azerbaijani capital. The current economic situation and the amount of corruption are a result of oil revenues. Before, the polls showed that the biggest dissatisfaction for people, excluding the Karabakh problem, was unemployment. Today, the people are protesting corruption mostly, and this is a result of unequal distribution of oil incomes.